Bowtie security guy here, talking about the interview process. The way most companies do interviewing is wrong on multiple levels. One, it takes too darn long. If you're doing anything over 3 rounds of interviews, this means a recruiter round to filter out kind of a lot of the junk, a technical round to make sure they're technical enough, and a team fit round. You're doing it wrong. I'm sorry, but you can't bury these people who are already struggling in interviews, and you can't force them. I mean, you can, but it's wrong to go through 4 or 5 rounds that take several months to make a decision. If you are that indecisive about who you want, or if you are chasing unicorns, you will simply end up finding someone who is good enough for that time or is amazing, and then they're going to end up leaving. Don't be afraid of investing in talent. If you really like someone, or you really like the way they do things, or you're really impressed by their technical, invest time to work on their soft skills, invest time to make them better. Don't chase this perfect kind of candidate who's really personable, super technical, and can really explain things without talking down to people. That is a very difficult thing to find, and it's a very hard skill to master. Please understand that the people who are going through these job interviews who have gone through countless hours of interviewing, it is an incredible struggle. Before they got on that call, they probably were crying because they've gone through this so many times. You've got people who are losing their houses, people who are not able to afford rent, people who are losing everything because they've been out of work for so long. And then your process takes 3 to 4 months in 7 rounds of interviews. So they're spending 7 hours of their time trying to show you the best that they can be, but it's hard. So be kind. Tell them how many people are going to be on the interview panel in advance so they can be aware that this is how many people are going to be there when they join and they don't get overwhelmed. Help prep them if it's going to be a technical interview. Send them an email, say, hey, this next round of interviews is going to be technical. And here is the crazy radical thing that I do that I think everyone should do. Tell them on the call whether or not they are moving forward. And if they are not moving forward, tell them why. You don't have to give huge details, but giving them some feedback gives them closure, or telling them you are moving forward lets them know they're good. I know that I'm a little more passionate about this than I probably should be, but it's so incredibly frustrating to talk to mentees every day who are struggling, living in homeless shelters, and then they've got to find a way to get on to 6 different interviews that you've scheduled at random times because nobody prioritizes interviewing. And instead, you have to basically work around the leader's schedule. Interviewing should be your most important function as a leader, second only to conflict management and team morale. You have to prioritize hiring because a bad hire can drastically destroy your team. If you're not making hiring a priority and you're not doing it in a clear and concise way, in a kind way, it can be very, very difficult for you to get things and very difficult for you to find the best possible talent because you're too focused on a bunch of interviews and everybody needs to have a say. And then 6 months down the road, or 4 months down, 3 months down the road, they've gone through 7 or 8 interviews. And for what? You probably don't even remember their first interview because it was months ago, but you've decided that they're still the top candidate. Well, you know, I guess that's a way to do it, but it's not the right way and it's not the kind way. And this market is hard. Anyone who has been laid off knows how difficult it can be, how soul-wrenching it can be, and how it eats at you every day. It makes you feel worthless, makes you feel like you're not good enough. In interviewing, we have to turn on the charm, even though we're super depressed, even though we don't want to be there, even though we just want a job, but we can't tell you we just want a job because then you won't want us. So we have to perform. It's exhausting. So please, if you're a hiring manager and you're watching this, do it different. Be kind. I went through multiple interviews when I was laid off, and maybe 2 or 3 of them followed that procedure, and I still remember them. Working at one of them, and the other one was Hacker One. They don't sponsor me, but That's how you should do interviewing. I was told on the call why I didn't get the job and why they didn't want me to move forward. It was amazing. Was I disappointed? Hell yes. But God, knowing where I stood and knowing exactly where I stood immediately was priceless. That's all I got. Good luck out there.